skies are blue, sweat turns to gold, yeah. It's all for you. Miles and smile, the world's your stage. MoveQuest call, MQT paves the way. Steps into gold, watch it unfold. Every move you make, it's a story told. From the spark of dawn to the stars above. Get paid to move, find the life you love. Steps into gold, watch it unfold. Every move you make, it's a story told. From the spark of dawn to the stars above. Get paid to move, find the life you love. Find the life you love. Workers burn, but the fire's sweet. Even your sleeves got the rhythm beat. Calories, dreams, distance too. Crypto rewards for the best of you. Change the world one stride at a time. Feel the rush, it's a climb, a ride. Join the quest, feel the glow. Be your best self, let the future show. Steps into gold, watch it unfold. Every move you make, it's a story told. From the spark of dawn to the stars above. Get paid to move, find the life you love. Steps into gold, watch it unfold. Every move you make, it's a story told. From the spark of dawn to the stars above. Get paid to move, find the life you love. Find the life you love.
All right, all right. Once again, I want to welcome everybody to our Standing Tuesday night call, where we are able to have time with our illustrious founder and creator of the MoveQuest project. Once again, we want to welcome everybody to the call this evening. You know, it's not often, it does exist, but it's not often that individuals that are a part of a crypto project have the privilege of being able to hear directly from the people that are behind the scenes on a consistent basis to know and learn more and more about what the project is all about. So those of you that are new, we welcome you into the MoveQuest ecosystem and the MoveQuest family, which is not just a crypto project, but it's a lifestyle at the same time. Once again, I want to actually, before we bring on Miss Lynette this evening, I want to, this gentleman has put forth a tremendous amount of effort, helping, curate, build excitement and things of that nature as far as helping move the MoveQuest project forward. It's the amount of time and energy that he puts in, it's you guys can't imagine. But I want Mr. Hayden Andre, I want to see if you have any thoughts or any feelings you want to share with us this evening before we get everything started. Are you here with us this evening?
Mic check, 1 2, millionaire check, 1 2, billionaire check, 1 2. I know we got some billionaires in the house tonight. How you doing tonight, Mr. Herschel Crow?
Man, I am doing wonderful, blessed, highly favored, excited, and I need a thesaurus to come up with, in a dictionary to come up with all the other adjectives that are extremely positive about how I feel and the outlook of what this project actually has in store for each and every one of us that are currently participating. What about yourself?
Indeed, indeed. I completely agree. Likewise. Thank you so much, Herschel Crow, for the incredible amount of work that you do to support this project. Your efforts and your hard work is truly appreciated. Thank you so much. And a big good evening to everyone out in the cyber universe. Welcome to another exciting Tuesday night MoveQuest update call event. This is Hayden Andre, your friendly neighborhood digital asset investor, maxing out with you all right here on Zoom Live, as we always do in 2025. Supercharged, fired up, and super excited about success. We are in pre celebration mode, and that simply means that we are in the party before the party. It's time to get lit. Special shout outs and congratulations to the entire MoveQuest Nation. And a few quick reminders before we begin. As I always remind myself, before I remind anyone of anyone else, the reminder benefits the entrepreneur. So, firstly, I would like to remind you all to be super safe in this cutting edge industry of crypto and blockchain. You gotta prioritize safety, security, and best practices all the time. As many of you know, one of the characteristics of this revolutionary technology is that transactions, once completed, cannot be deleted, duplicated, or reversed. So be very vigilant. Double check, triple check, quadruple check transactions before sending and confirming. Be super cautious of DMs, direct messages, private text, and emails that come from individuals pretending to be friendly, familiar contacts. No one from MoveQuest will ever contact you requesting private, secure wallet information. Both new and experienced users can benefit from doing test transactions before sending. As profitable as crypto can be, it's super important to do the right things to get the right results. And making errors in crypto and blockchain can be disastrous and result in loss of very valuable digital assets. And that would be tragic. And we don't want that for anyone, especially when it can be avoided with a simple conversation. So, next up, I'd like to remind you all that this is a crypto mining project. And mining crypto has certain advantages beyond simply purchasing digital assets. You see, if you were earning fiat currency, it wouldn't matter when you cashed in your results. Fiat today is the same value tomorrow and next week. In fact, technically, fiat deteriorates over time due to inflation. So in that case, it would make sense to cash it out right away. Now, MQT is a digital asset. And like all high quality digital assets, it has the ability to appreciate in value. So apply the discipline and the strategy of holding the token strategically over time. Cash in at price points that work in accordance with your goals. That type of approach can result in life transformational results financially. Now, lastly, remember, and this is a shout out to all of the seasoned miners out there right now. Success leaves clues. Bitcoin miners spent thousands of dollars in mining equipment, incredible amounts of money in energy costs to earn Bitcoin when Bitcoin was valued at only a few dollars. Can you imagine those miners saying, this Bitcoin is costing me $10 in electricity cost to mine one Bitcoin valued at $3. I think I'm going to stop mining today and wait until Bitcoin's price rise to begin mining again. Or can you imagine them saying, I think I'll sell 3 Bitcoins for $3 each to cover the electricity cost to mine the Bitcoin for today? I encourage you all to develop a strategy to fund your personal MoveQuest project. Selling MQT to cover AVAX submission fees is a very poor strategy. It makes sense as a temporary fix, maybe, for a day or two, like as a last option to avoid missing a day of submissions. However, for those of you who can set aside some funds to fuel your personal MoveQuest project, you will, without a doubt, secure your seat among the new 1% in the world. The term diamond hands was created for a reason. You have to be able to hold tight when the pressure becomes intense. Pressure is necessary to form diamonds. So that being said, big shout outs to the Diamond Hand hodlers in the crowd today, the multi-set soldiers, the multi-watch warriors, and the consistent proof of physical activity submitters. MoveQuest is the #1 move to earn platform on the planet. This is just year one on Avalanche blockchain. There is so much more on deck. The best, the absolute best is yet to come. That being said, Mr. Herschel Cole Crow, back over to you.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night. That's all we needed right there. That's all we needed. Once again, Hayden, you bring the fire, you bring the excitement, and more importantly, you bring the truth. I couldn't have said it any better. I'm glad you did. One of the next things we want to do, being on these Zooms over the last year, man, it's time just flies by. I've had the privilege of seeing and looking at individuals within the community that, you recognize, not just from this project, but for other things that they're doing or that you've recognized them doing in the past. And there's one gentleman I want to actually bring up this evening to, kind of just share. I'm gonna let him just take the reins at that point, and just say whatever he feels he wants to share with us. But, I've seen this gentleman. We've never had the privilege of speaking until recently. We've communicated, via chat a few times in the past, but, I just kept seeing him come back, didn't hear much, but he has a YouTube channel that a lot of us may not necessarily be aware of, where he's been advocating for this project in a very big way. And without further ado, I just want to bring up a gentleman by the name of Gerald Smith. Many of you in the crypto space may be familiar with the YouTube channel Bank of Gerald, but I want to formally introduce him as a committed member of the MoveQuest community. And, I can kind of tell just by following him and different projects that he's been associated with, how he's really gravitated to the scope and breadth of what the MoveQuest project actually is. So without further ado, Mr. Gerald Smith, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing well, Herschel. I'm doing well, Hayden. I'm doing well, Lynette, and MoveQuest community. I'm doing well. How are you doing, man?
Great, great, great. I've noticed, like I said, you've been in and around the MoveQuest community since the beginning of the Avalanche blockchain.
Sure.
I just kind of wanted to get your feedback of, your vibe, your feel, your testimony, your results, your outlook on the project. Go for it.
Well, thank you for the introduction. My name is Gerald Smith. I go by Bank of Gerald on YouTube. I've been in the YouTube space for about 5 years now, the start of the pandemic. We had come across some crypto projects that really were the first of its kind that I had seen. Now, as we grew through the years, we found out most of those things were scams and schemes and different things like that. I'm sure a lot of you were a part of some of the ones that were notable, along with myself. We were just kind of trying to find a way, right? With crypto not having a whole lot of regulation here in the United States, it was hard to find things and then have protections for things and make people feel comfortable about being in this space. So after a whole lot of failures and a whole lot of projects that have come and go, MoveQuest came along to my desk. Quentin Bradford, you guys may know him as Crypto Pays Me Daily. He brought this to me amongst many other projects, and it came around a time in my life where I was looking for something like this. Was going through a weight loss journey of my own prior to MoveQuest for my own reasons. I was trying to get my own personal physical body together. My outside of YouTube life is pretty active, and I was finding myself a little out of shape. So one of the things that brought MoveQuest so much, it was just a breath of fresh air to me, was first of all, the leadership and the people that were involved. Lynette has been at the forefront. Shout out to you, Lynette. She's been at the forefront of this since the beginning. And hearing that the Get Fit mining opportunity was around for 3 or 4 years at that time, just kind of building momentum and getting everything to where it can be where it is right now. I was like, okay, so if we have the opportunity to use our physical, like our actual bodies, right, as a miner, right? And I've always thought about these different miners like Bitcoin miners and how almost they're unattainable at this point. Any Bitcoin miner that was mining any significant amount of Bitcoin needs a lot of space, a lot of energy, a lot of stuff that I just can't fit in my apartment, my room, whatever. But this physical body can do a lot, and I don't take it for granted. So when this came around, I was like, okay, I can use this to build my cryptocurrency bag, but I can also use this to continue to push past the plateau that is trying to get back in shape. So when August rolled around, I saw it launch. I didn't get in just yet. I just kind of waited to see. It looked like it was a little bit of a learning curve. You know, I had to use MetaMask a little bit more. Avalanche was not a coin or token that I even had. So I had to learn a little bit. But I said to myself, if I can learn just a little bit of things that I need to learn for this learning curve in MoveQuest, I really believe that not only it can continue the changes that I'm already making in my life, it can further them. But I can really take this thing and share it with others, and it can really change their lives as well. A little bit of personal background of mine. My family, while I may live in the DMV, my family is from the Deep South. So the stigma has been places like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. The levels of obesity are really high. And I've known that, you know, my family has battled with cholesterol and all different type of stuff. And when I heard the mission was to move us past this sedentary lifestyle that we have been so accustomed to, you know, sitting in our desk chairs and, you know, taking long drives, it's just not as advantageous to an active lifestyle. So all of that stuff being said, I wanted to be more active. I wanted to change my financial life. I wanted to be a part of cryptocurrency and a cryptocurrency project that felt to me would not fail us, because we had been a part of so much stuff that felt so good, but just didn't even give us half of what MoveQuest was giving us right off the bat. We're talking about blockchain validity. We were talking about being on different exchanges and different things of that nature at that time. So I got in, I got as many miners as I could, and I just started learning about what the process was going to be to start mining MQT. And honestly, the rest has been history. We've just kind of seen this thing grow. We've had some points where we were waiting on some things, of course, and that's one thing that I always do on my channel. I try to keep it real, and I try to keep it from a sense of what the regular person may be feeling like. I don't see myself as the ultra what's the influencer or anything like that. I see myself as a regular guy just trying to make it, you know, a regular family guy, supporting my parents and supporting my son and trying to keep everything together, just like a lot of you guys probably are. So MoveQuest came to my life at the perfect time, and I've been talking about it on YouTube amongst other things, because y'all know those that know me, I'm involved in a lot of stuff. But MoveQuest I've deemed as my favorite opportunity. I think it is the most life-changing opportunity that there is out there. And I'm not just speaking about what it can do for your pockets. I'm not just speaking about that fiscal life change. I'm talking about a real physical life change. For those of you that have been watching me, and for those of you that may not, I've lost 50 pounds, right? That alone for me was a great thing to talk about. Like, you guys see the differences that I've made when I go to my church and the different avenues that I'm in. They're looking at me like, yo, Gerald, you're a different person. But I'll bring this to the forefront, and I'll kind of digress, because I can talk forever, y'all. It's not always about just getting to that point. It's staying at that point, right? When you've done the work to get to that place where you're feeling good about your body and you're doing the movement, MoveQuest allowed me to continue to stay on that path, because I'm obviously motivated to mine MQT on a day-to-day basis. I wanted the most powerful miners. I wanted as many docking slots as I could available, open, to plug stuff in them as I could. Didn't matter if it was the Trailblazer, the Vanguard, or the Titan. All right. And then eventually I had a goal to tighten up, right? I wanted all my docking slots filled with Titans. And it was a cool thing to be able to say on my YouTube channel that I officially have all 18 of my docking slots filled with Titans. And that was such a big deal to me. So I say all that to say, MoveQuest got me to a place where I could feel good about my body, right? It kept me at that place where I could stay feeling good about my body because it motivated me to just keep on moving. And then, of course, I'll share this one last story. When I saw the price of MQT go to like $100, in my mind, I honestly thought for a second I missed the boat. And I'm sure a lot of you may have thought the same thing. Oh man, I missed it. I missed the big rise. But then you got to pay attention to what all the other cryptocurrencies have done. And you can just use Bitcoin as an example. As long as it stays around, the opportunity is always going to stay there. So as I look at it, it is at its current price. I'm reinvigorated. I'm re-excited, just like I was back in August of 2024 when I saw this for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't lose the excitement that you have about this project. It is the most legit project we have probably ever seen and has the most life-changing potential that we've probably ever seen. So I want to leave you with that. And I also want to say, while we're looking at the price possibly being at a place where we're not too happy about it, I want you to try to put a smile on your face and borrow some of the belief that we have. Borrow some of Hayden's belief. Borrow some of Herschel's belief, and watch this thing just go parabolic. All we need is a committed community, a community that's willing to put themselves at the forefront, be the change that people want to see, and then help people along as they start this learning curve of learning cryptocurrency. And I truly believe that we have the most life-changing opportunity in our hands right now. And with that, I'm just excited. I'm ready to hear this call.
Man, that's 2 mic drops in 24 minutes. I mean, come on now. I mean, Mr. Smith, we definitely glad to have you as part of the MoveQuest community. And I know that there are other people out there listening right now, just like you, that have been here, that's been seeing what's going on. There's been people that have come. There have been people those same people come and they go. They project that they leave and go to, they gone there. Then they come back. One thing about a project in the crypto space, like you just mentioned, it's still here. A lot is being built. The foundation is being laid for long-term sustainability. And that's what I really like about what we have here with MoveQuest. Once again, I want to thank you for sharing with the community this evening, and we look forward to seeing and hearing a lot more from you as time goes on.
Thank you for having me, and you have my word.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead. Miss Lynette, I know you're here, you're listening, and I see your face already, and you got a smile on it. And I know you got some exciting things that you want to share with the community. So without further ado, once again, Miss Lynette Arden, how are you this evening?
I'm good. It's just funny because I'm listening to what Hayden is saying and what Gerald is saying, and I'm thinking, today I did a video. I had the house to myself. It was quiet. Bloodhound was gone. Everything's calm. And I started out the video with, hello, blah, blah, blah. My short video turned out to be 1 hour and 58 minutes. I'm like, I can't do this to these people. But everything that Hayden and Gerald were talking about was in my video. And one of the things that I had really talked about was the responsibility of a miner, and I don't think people realize, when you look at this as like you being the consumer, you're not the consumer, you're the fuel behind this ecosystem. A miner is banking those MoveQuest tokens so that when the demand is there, you release them into circulation by selling them when that market value is high. And right now, and I was doing me and my spreadsheets, doing my analysis of everything that's going on. And it's very clear that what people are doing is, some are selling MoveQuest at large amounts. Maybe they have a family emergency or something that came up. But the consistent selling, those smaller amounts. And when I go and I compare wallets, the good thing about being decentralized is you don't know who the people are. All you see are wallets. So I don't know who it is. I just know the wallets. And they are selling to submit. So my message in the video was this, and I'm going to share everything with you tonight, and hopefully you'll understand. If you can't afford the submission fees, quit mining. Hold on to your MoveQuest. Wait till the price goes up, so you only have to sell a little bit of your MoveQuest to cover your submissions. Because if all you're doing is mining to sell it to submit, mining to sell it to submit, you might not be doing yourself any favors in the long term. And you're going to understand this when I'm done. I'm not telling you to walk away from the project. I'm telling you to stop selling your MoveQuest to submit, hold what you've got, pay attention to the market value, let the people who are able to hold it, that can afford to submit, get the majority of that MoveQuest because you know they're holding it, they're not selling it, and watch that market value go up. Now, those of you that have to sell to submit only have to sell a little tiny bit of that MoveQuest. So I've got a 5-slide presentation quick, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean by this. MoveQuest does not require new money. And I prove that with this massive giveaway that we've done. And so I'm going to share my screen real quick here. Oh, let's see. Share. I'm going to hide this. Then I'm going to come over here and get my keynote. All right, I'm going to play this real quick for you. In total, Sunday night, we took a snapshot. I thought, wow, this was really easy to do. There really wasn't that many to give away. It was like, I don't know, $350,000 worth of miners. And what I didn't realize is that the snapshot we got was only like a little smidgen of it. It didn't complete. It timed out somehow, and I didn't get the full list. So went back to the drawing board, reran that snapshot and that list of for the giveaways. We have already, and this was just as of 2 days ago, we have given our community $11,768,400 and counting in NFTs and mining DAC slots. That's huge. Now, as of today, we're approaching almost $15 million. Has not affected our project at all. Why? Because we don't need the new money. We don't, give away the Vanguards and the Explorers and the Titans because that's your digital real estate. Those are digital assets. Those are NFTs. Those are ERC21 tokens. So you don't want to devalue them. You want them to go up in value. But when we say we have a self-sustaining ecosystem that's based on community engagement, that's the reality of it. I could give away 250 million. I could give away $1 trillion worth of these miners, and it would never hurt this project. We don't need new money. And so when you hear people say, oh, and I love it when your crypto critics say, oh yeah, but it'll fail because it needs new money. It doesn't need new money, but any project you created did fail because you needed that new money. That's why you think all these other projects do. We don't need the new money. So we wanted to celebrate you. We wanted to celebrate our community. And so as of today, we have given away 76,000 Trailblazers to our community. And we have opened up 76,000 DAC slots to celebrate 1 year of mining on Avalanche and reaching that one epic milestone. Now, think about this, all of you Binance Smart Chain miners that always ask me, when are you coming over to the Binance and going to fix that? This is 76,000 Trailblazers that will be coming over to Binance Smart Chain, plus the 47,000 miners that are already on or were already on the Avalanche chain. Because once we get this, our big, celebration of, completed on the Avalanche chain, we're rolling right over everybody who's on Avalanche, who's mining. You're going to get matching DAC slots opened, and they're going to be filled with Trailblazers. We're not sure what we're doing with our Titan people yet. We may give you Vanguards over there on the Binance Smart Chain. We're going to let you know here pretty soon. But we're really excited about this. We're really excited for our community. And I'm going to talk to you about the recalibration of the market value and how the ecosystem is operating. You're going to see everything really clear by the time this call is done. So for our community, it's time for you guys to power up. Seriously. Now, do you remember on Sunday and Monday when I said, well, those who are only mining with one, the DAC slot was free. And if you got a Trailblazer it would cost you $100. And then those who were mining with 2, you only opened up 1 slot, and then you had the two miners, whatever miners you were using. And my thought was, well, it's just not enough skin in the game. Everybody else is opening up more dock slots and, to be able to mine. So we're not going to give anything to those with 1 and 2 dock slots, but we'll give them a boost or something down the road. Well, then our wonderful core team, which Gerald and Hayden and Herschel, I couldn't think, too many H's here. Gerald, Hayden, Herschel is making my tongue go bloop, but I didn't know what was going to come out next, you guys. But anyway, that whole group of people are like, no, we really need to do something to uplift those that are mining with 1 and 2 dock slots. And so what we decided was, those of you who are mining with 1 and 2 dock slots, if you open up 2 and or 3, so if you're mining with 1, you would need to open 2 and 3. If you're mining with dock slot 1 and 2, then you would need to just open up 3. And then MoveQuest is going to open up slots 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, we're going to honor the 8. Why? Because you've been here. Some of you have been here long, some of you have been here for a year. And we want those of you who are mining with 1 and 2 dock slots to have, the advantage that the rest of the community has had, because you're just as important. And when I made that decision, it wasn't because you weren't important, but the core team reminded me how really we want you to feel important. And what I was doing wasn't making people feel important. And so we never want that to happen. Now, if you don't unlock your second and or third slot by 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on July 31st, that opportunity to get those 8 free dock slots and 8 free trailblazers, okay, that will have passed you by. And you don't want to let that happen, okay? Because if you do, when we run our celebration public promotion, you will have to open slots 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then MoveQuest will open 11 through 18. And it's not something we can deviate away from, because then I would have to do it manually. And you know what a nightmare it would be for me to do manually. I started doing it manually. And I like to call Waleed my magic man, because he always comes up with a fix for me to make things go fast. He writes a script or does something to make it go much smoother, much faster, and get things done in a few minutes versus a few weeks. And so once we go into that public promotion, we can't do some, can open a few and then get the 8. You have to do up to 10, because that's what the script is going to fill. And so you only have until July 31st, right? Did I say 30th or 31st? What was the date? July 31st. Okay, last day of July at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Otherwise, like I said, you'll have to open 2 through 10. And that's still a great deal. You're going to spend $720 and you're going to get $1,000 worth of miners for free. Okay, so you're already in the positive. And then we're going to open up the 8 dock slots for you at no cost and give you 8 more trailblazers. So during this promotion, every time you open a dock slot, you're getting a free trailblazer, not a phantom, but an actual 100% powered, 100% mining powered trailblazer. So for a limited time, I'm repeating myself because I always get ahead of myself. Each dock slot unlocked gives you that $100 trailblazer. If you claim, you can claim up to 18 trailblazers. Okay, at no cost. That's $1,800 value. And you're going to receive 8 dock slots for free, which is $640. So that's a big deal. Now, we've had some people that have said, well, we were already at 18 slots before this promotion, so we missed out. Well, we never forget anybody in our community. And if, like with slots 1 and 2, our users with slots 1 and 2, when I was gonna boost you, the core team reminded me that we needed to trailblaze you. And so for all of you who opened up your 18 dock slots prior to us doing this giveaway, MoveQuest is gonna tighten you up with 3 Titans. That's a $2,400 value. Why? Because we value you. And so those 179 mining wallets with those 18 slots, when you were mining with them before July 19th, you received those 3 Titans this afternoon. So if you go into your dashboard, you will see 3 shiny Titans there. waiting for you in your inventory. You don't have to claim those. Those just went right into your inventory. So MoveQuest is the game that turns your real life activities into your digital playground. We want to give everybody an opportunity to be successful here. Now, I'm going to roll right into my handy dandy spreadsheets that I love so much because they put things into perspective. And I want to show you guys, I really want to share something with you guys. And when I said to those of you, if you can't afford to submit without selling your MoveQuest, to take a break, right? Stay engaged, come to the Zooms, be part of our community because, we're MoveQuest, we're a movement, right? We're going to have challenges and events and all kinds of things that are going to be happening here very shortly. We're really getting close to that here over the next few weeks. And so we really want you to be a part and be engaged. And plus, not only that, but we're going to be doing all kinds of giveaways. Bullish Moon's got giveaways that they're doing. We're getting ready to hold our first big event. We're making plans for that. And so we don't want you to leave. We just want you to hold on to your MoveQuest and not sell it. And I'm going to show you why. So do you guys remember back in the beginning when I was giving you numbers and I said 10,000 users in our community and the token would be self-sustaining? Now, if there hadn't been so much crazy overselling, the MoveQuest would have already been up into the $1,000 range. The community kind of kicked their own butt. You sellers don't realize what you're doing to yourself, because at 4,200, okay, we right now have a community of 9,678 miners. Do you guys know how tiny of a community that is? That's so small. And have you seen what MoveQuest has done with just 9,678 people? You are all sitting on a gold mine, and I don't even think you realize it yet. But we're going to look at this first. There's 3,000 MoveQuest now that go out per day. From May 7th to June 29th, 48,793 MoveQuest tokens were sold. There was no demand for that. And so when you ask, why is the market value dropping? Well, there you go. You can't keep selling it if there's not a demand and expect the market value to go up, especially when only 4,200 users in the community are actively submitting on a daily basis, because the others are saying, well, the market value is low, so it really doesn't matter. It's not worth it to me. But I'm going to show you why it is. So over that 53 days, it was an average of 921 MoveQuests that were sold. Now, I don't like to be hypey at all. I don't like to overpromise. I would rather underpromise than overdeliver. And so when I do my calculations here, I'm assuming that all 3,921 MoveQuest tokens are going to be sold every single day. The full 3,000 that go out from mining, plus the average 921 that are sold. Now, so everybody knows these aren't sold every day, those 3,000. In fact, we have our community actually holds tight onto their MoveQuest. The problem is we don't have that demand yet because we haven't really done any marketing. We were waiting to get the rebrand done, waiting to get into the Apple App Store. We were waiting to see how the presidential election was going to pan out, so we knew where we were going to incorporate the MoveQuest Labs, which we did in the United States because President Trump is now in office and he supports crypto. Had it gone the other direction, we would have went offshore because you just don't know what would happen otherwise. And so we wanted to make sure. So we kind of were a little slow with our marketing, but everything just comes together so wonderfully. Now, look at this. At the current market value, and this is the market value this morning, I think it was at $3.35 or something like that. I'm not really sure what it is right now. I haven't looked, but if all 3,921 of those MoveQuest tokens are sold every single day, that's $13,107 dollars that are sold. And if you look on, and I'm going to take you over here. If you come over here and you look at, okay, so it's at 6.9 thousand sold in the last 24 hours. But this morning, it was at about 13,000, okay, being sold. So in the last 24 hours, 6.9 thousand, almost 7,000 was sold, but only buys were 3,500. So you see, the demand wasn't there for almost $7,000 to be sold. That should have never been sold. And you have to ask yourself, why are you selling it? Do you just not understand the project, or do you just really not care? I mean, I don't know what the issue is, but do you not get how this works? So we have a deficit. Okay, we're short from liquidity, because if you take those 4,200 who are submitting, and the average submission is about $1.90. Some people are mining with 18 slots, some are mining with 2, some are mining with 10. Well, a bunch of you are all mining now with 11 and higher, which is great because we gave you that big boost. And so I expect to, really see your mining results increase. Not to mention that instead of having the max levels at a super active athletic person, we dropped it down to a moderately active level based on what the government's, or actually it's the world's health data. And so we took it down a notch to the maximum 12,000. So, and we give you have more mining power with your steps. Okay, it's not just 30% of the overall mining pool, but it's actually 38%. And so you walkers are probably seeing a big boost in your mining rewards. So what I'm showing you here is that 4,200 wallets every day are submitting at an average of $1.90. So your total submissions, and we're not including, this is the other thing you have to understand, we're not including DAC slots, we're not including evolution, we're not including the hatchery. We are obviously, we haven't introduced the boost yet. They're ready, but we haven't made them live yet. The golden hatchery is done. It's not live yet. The leasing is done. It's not live yet. But we have all this other utility that's coming. And so none of that is figured into this. The constant is the submissions. You never know how many are going to evolve every day or upgrade their miners. You don't know how many are going to be in the hatchery. You don't know how many will go into the golden hatchery. So I don't use that in these figures. And so there's extra money that's sitting there for the liquidity that's not even figured in here. Only the constant. Again, remember, I like to under promise, over deliver. So this is like the bare minimum of what you would see. But knowing that this amount is sold almost every day, and sometimes even more than that, and when the market value is higher, you would see sometimes $300,000, $200,000, $300,000 a day being sold. Millions and millions of dollars has gone into the community's pockets, and that's a great thing. But it really did kind of hurt you in a way because the market value is low. Personally, myself, I love it. I love that it's low because it's able to do like a recalibration, and we're at a fluid level. And I'm going to explain to you this here in just a second. Sorry. So currently, we're looking at $5,127 every single day that's short because of the overselling. So you're going to keep seeing the market value drop, 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 drop. Now, in reality, you've got the evolution, you've got these other monies that are sitting there that are currently banked. There's a lot of liquidity banked because the ecosystem, the algorithms, like, the overselling is just sell, 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 sell. So what does the algorithm want? It wants you to sell it. The more MoveQuest you have to sell for the less USDT, the better it is for the rest of the community who's holding. So when the market value is $25, to get 100, you only had to sell 4. Right now, to get $100, you have to sell about 34. The ecosystem loves that when you've got overselling going on. Why? Because the ecosystem is drawing all this back into the pool. Now the ecosystem has to buy that MoveQuest to pair it to the USDT before it can inject it into liquidity. It's got 500,000 MoveQuest tokens sitting in the bank, right? In the community bank, the vault. But it doesn't want to use that right now. The ecosystem wants to buy that MoveQuest low, just like everybody else should want to do. You never want to sell it low. I mean, that's just the craziest thing I've heard. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you can't afford to submit, you got to sell your MoveQuest to do it. You'd be doing yourself a favor just to take a break for a little while until the market value comes back up. And you're going to see why here when it's done. It's all going to make sense. And so the ecosystem will go and buy MoveQuest, and it will bring that market value back up. but it's not going to do it for the sellers. It's going to do it for the holders. It wants the holders to reap the benefit because the sellers are not doing the community any favors. And you're part of this community and you're a miner. So you got to start taking some responsibility for the actions and the roles that you're playing in this community. I've got 4 years of my life, invested into this project. And so many of our community has been here for, a year, 2 years, 3 years. And they're looking at this going, what's wrong with people? Like, what was that show they used to knock you on the head? I wish I could remember what it was now. But anyway, it kind of reminds me of that, like, wake up, hello. Don't do that. Hold your MoveQuest. Stop selling it to submit. You got to sell it because you need it. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're just selling it to submit, just give it a break for a few weeks and let the ecosystem kick in, because if you keep overselling it, the ecosystem right now will let it drop down to $2.16. I'm just going to tell you that because I was studying the algorithm today. Then it's got the liquidity that it's going to pump in, and then it's going to start to drive it back up. But by letting it drop down to that $2.16, the community's going to have to offload quite a bit of it. And then the ecosystems to be able to come back in and buy that up and put it back in the vault until the market value hits that $300, $400, $500 mark. Then the ecosystem will start pulling from its bank. Why? Because for every $500 of USDT, it'll only need one MoveQuest. But if it was used in its banked reserve MoveQuest right now, see, you don't want to put it in there when the market value is low because it would take too much. For $500, it would take 34 times 550, 200, probably 225 MoveQuest tokens to pair it to $500. And that the ecosystem, the way the algorithm is set up, it's like, that's not going to happen. It's going to bank it. It's going to go buy it low, which is going to drive it back up for the holders. And then it's going to pair it to the USDT and it's going to inject it. So right now, you're looking at over the next 30 days, if not one single buyer come in, because it is getting to this level. Let me see if I come over here real quick and I will show you where it's at currently. It's $248,000 away from being fluid in USDT, which means it has to go buy 74,000 MoveQuest tokens to pair it to that USDT. So if that's making any sense to you, the ecosystem is preparing itself to have to go buy all that MoveQuest that you are all selling, which is going to drive it back up for the community who's holding. Now I'm going to come back over here. And so over the next 30 days, you're looking at MoveQuest, not one single buyer, not one single new user in our community. It will come back up to that $4.20 mark. Okay, that's not a whole lot, but you gotta understand, it's still gonna let it drop down to like the $2.16 mark. Okay, unless the overselling stops. If the overselling stopped right now, the ecosystem would start kicking in, bam, 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 and you'd see a major change really fast. So I'm explaining to you how this works. Now, if you look at this over 60 days, well, let's go 90. We don't have to do 60. Let's do 90. You're looking at it going to 592. Not one new person ever come into the community. Not one new person is submitting or engaging. It's just the 4,200 wallets that continue to submit. And then over 365 days, you're looking at just the ecosystem taking it up to the $13.81. Why? Because that's self-sustaining. That is what the community has said it's happy with. There's no growth, no expansion in the community. It's just the same 4,200 wallets that are submitting over and over and over, $13,000 every single day being sold. And this is what the market value would be in 1 year. Now, I'm going to put this back down to 30 days because I want to show you what we've done is given the entire community an opportunity to really boost what you're doing with MoveQuest. If you haven't been engaged, you should re-engage, because if the entire community of 9,678 wallets that are currently docked, okay, you've unlocked dock slots, you've added your miners to the dock slots, but for whatever reason, 45% of you are not submitting. Do you see what happens in 30 days? Now we have an overflow. Okay, because you have 9,670 8 wallets that are submitting every day. And now you have an overflow of $5,280 that's going into liquidity. So every 30 days, it's adding 710,000. Now, it's not considering that it has to go buy $350,000 worth of MoveQuest from the exchange and then bring that 350 back, pair it to the 350 that's remaining and add the 700,000. So it really did a $1 million market correction liquidity injection. And so really this market value would be double in 30 days. But I like to go low. I like to under promise, over deliver. So you're looking at bare bones minimum $10.48. We just gave you every single user in this community. You didn't even know it was coming. You just woke up and it was there. We opened up 8 DOC slots if you had 3 or more, and we gave you 8 new Trailblazers. And so we really gave you a boost at no cost to you to re-engage, to celebrate you for being here and to show you what you're missing out on. Now, let's look at this in 90 days. What does that look like? $24.76. Now, remember, we're still just the existing community. Not one new person has come into our community. Not one new person has bought a single MoveQuest token. It's just the community we've already built. Now, let's look at that in 365 days. You're looking at $90.20. And that's just the community. It doesn't take new money. It takes an engaged community. And so we told everybody it really is worth it to you to continue mining, even if you don't like the market value of the token. By not mining it, you drove the market value down, because by not mining it and then the overselling, it was kind of a double whammy. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you do have growth. Let's say the community grows by 10,000 and now you have 20,000 people in the community who are engaged. Okay, you got an overflow of 24,000 a day. Everything's being sold, okay? Everything's being sold. The community never changed its habit. It just constantly sells the MoveQuest. It doesn't listen. The community has its own mind. You kind of got like my bloodhounds mentality. You're completely stubborn and you don't listen to nobody. That is my bloodhound. And you just keep selling. Even so, 10,000 people join our community. And guess what? When we start our public promotion, they'll open 10 DOC slots and we're going to open the remaining 8. And they're going to get 18 Trailblazers to get started with. That's for anyone who gets started when we start running this promotion, which should start. I can't remember the exact date. Hayden or Herschel probably know what that date is, because I think they're pretty well into the planning mode with the core team. So I'm not 100% sure what the day is, but it's coming up. But look here. Let's put this down to the 30 days. Where would the token be in 30 days with 20,000 users submitting? A growing community, not new money. You're going to spend $720 to unlock your DOC slots, because we're still in proof of concept mode. Going to prove to the world you don't need to do money. You're unlocking DOC slots. That's part of the ecosystem. We're giving you the miners. See, when you buy and mint those miners, that was what somebody would consider new money. But that MoveQuest just goes back into the vault. It's never sold. There was none allocated to anybody. I have to mine it or buy it just like everybody else does. And nor did anybody else get it. So you're looking at 30 days. MoveQuest would be at $363. Now, I am including the DOC slots, okay, with the new users coming in, not the current users, but with new users that are coming into the system, and they're unlocking 10 DOC slots, $80 a slot, and what that would look like with 20,000 new people. That would mean we'd have 29,678 mining, really, because I'm including this in here. So let's bump this down to 5. We're going to say 5 slots. Why? Because, okay, I know what I can do. I'll just put this to 10,000. And we know there we go. Because though 19,678 people, that's what it would be in 30 days, $179. What does that look like in 90 days? 209. But really, nope, here I did include it. So here you'll see that's the $20 million over 90 days. And this is the ecosystem going and buying $10,240 worth of MoveQuest. Okay, because you got to remember this is 10,000 new people that joined our community, but not one other person come in, and not one single person has bought MoveQuest. This is what this is telling you. We all know that's not true. So the MoveQuest market value would probably be closer to the $400 to $500 range. That happens in 90 days. That's just sharing the project with people and them understanding how the ecosystem works. Now, let's look at this in 365 days. Okay. Now, this is what the average person is mining. If you're mining with a Titan, the average Titan, and this is maxing out 12,000 steps a day, whatever the maxes are now, 0.187. And so over a year, no, this is okay. So how did this work? Let me put this down to 30 days real quick. I want to see something here if that changes. Okay, nope, that stayed the same. Okay, so 365. Oh, you're mining with 18 Titans. Okay, so I got myself confused. So you're mining about three MoveQuest tokens a day. Now, with 10,000 new users in our community, you're making about $1,165 a day. Can any of you take that? Like really, could you take that? And you'd be making $500,000 a year. But all of you who are selling your MoveQuest, you know how some of these people have got some banked MoveQuest. When MoveQuest hits this price, they got 10 times this amount sitting there. And that's great because there's a lot of liquidity coming in and out of that pool with just 10,000 new users. I love to do this, you guys. I have to pick on StepN because that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. If you want to see, and I use the word colossal failure because it is, what a failure. 2 million users. And I don't care if they don't like it. I would love to get on a Zoom or on a YouTube or some StreamYard with the creator of that project. Oh my gosh. I would love to teach them a thing or two about crypto. 2 million users in less than 90 days. Hundreds of millions of dollars that come through that project. And they can't get past a nickel. And people want to complain because MoveQuest is at $3 and we've only been mining on Avalanche for a year. Now let me show you what 2 million new users looks like for MoveQuest. If we did what they did in our in the first 90 days, it drives MoveQuest to $87,000. Do you know that if we did what StepN did in 90 days, do you see what the income is for the average person mining with a Titan? And you navigators who say it's not worth it to you to mine, could you take $21 million because you were only mining 0.6 MoveQuest a day? Oh, that's not too shabby. It takes 2 million users. StepN did it in 90 days. They can't get past a nickel. This puts us up in Bitcoin range. Bitcoin has 106 million wallet holders. We only need 2 million. We are 10 times better than Bitcoin. This project is a beast. People don't understand it. It's completely decentralized. It's completely smart contract managed. It takes an engaged community, and it takes a community that gets it, that understands it. So why I'm telling you right now with the market value of MoveQuest at its low price, those of you who are selling it to continue mining, stop. Hold on to what you've got because you were probably mining more of it before you were selling it. If you would have held on to it, you would have been in a better spot. Or take advantage of what we've given you in mind with the higher amount of miners and try not to sell the MoveQuest to submit. Let the ecosystem kick in and take it where it needs to go. Imagine if, and let me put this down to something realistic, okay? I'm not saying we're going to get to 2 million users. If everybody from StepN wanted to come over to MoveQuest, I'd give every single one of them 18 mining DAC slots, 18 trailblazers, and they could just start going. 2 million people, I would do that in a New York minute. Anybody who knows anybody in Steppen, tell them bring the whole gang over. We'll take them in, and they'll win here because they failed miserably over there. And that's really sad. But let's get back down to realistic numbers. Okay, let's just say 100,000 users over the next year. Okay. Those of you who are mining, if you held on to your MoveQuest, and we got 100,000. Okay, so this is going to cut in half, and probably I would say you'd be mining about a quarter of what you're getting right now. So take this, quarter it out, $250,000 is what you could make a year if you're a navigator with 100,000 users. Okay, that's life changing. Those of you who are selling it for a few bucks, that's not life changing. And you're making the algorithm in the ecosystem go slow. Like it's creepy crawling. It's in snail mode because it's not going to drive it up for a seller. It is not going to do it. It's going to let it level out so that it's fluid. Then it'll inject it in so it's stable. Then it will start bringing it back up. Because you got to understand, the ecosystem wants to do exactly what you should be doing. It wants to buy it as low as possible. And it won't inject it into later. So because the project can't sell MoveQuest, I'm going to use this as an example. A user will sell it when the market value is high. But the ecosystem here, it doesn't want to touch its bank of MoveQuest to add to liquidity until that market value is way up. So it takes as little as possible from the bank. So it's keeping it out of circulation. It doesn't want to add that in until that demand is there, so that that liquidity has got massive value to the community. So it's going to go in, it's going to buy up all of this MoveQuest that the community has sold. And then it will hoard it and it won't add it. It'll just keep buying it till that market value is back up there. But it's not going to do it until it can be fluid and then inject it and then do a reversal on it. So I hope everybody understands that. And I'm not trying to be mean when I tell you to, don't sell it to submit, but seriously, don't. You're doing yourself a better favor to just hold off for a few weeks and stay engaged. Let the market value get back up here. Look at this in, let's just say 60 days. Okay, let the promotion go and do what it's got to do. And let's say we just, with the promotion, we have a community of 25,000 people, which we already know we've got more coming than that because some of these project communities that are coming in. Okay, you're looking at 60 days of market value of $504. Now, if you're only mining a little bit of MoveQuest today, you only have to sell a very little bit. Okay, $1.90 in the MoveQuest market value is at $504. You only have to sell a very little smidgen of it, and you're in better shape. So that's my recommendation to the community who's selling. Stop selling, hold what you got, let the market value come up. Then you can start selling that little tiny bit and start submitting again. Let the people who are holding it, who can afford to submit without selling it, pull in the lion's share of that MoveQuest because they're not going to sell it. They're hoarding it themselves. I'm going to show you how much is being held right now, and it's pretty crazy. So in total, 1.3 million has gone out, okay, over the last year. But we have almost 400,000 in the hatchery, and I guarantee you 90% of that is going to go into the golden hatchery because they're going to mine more in the golden hatchery than what they mine in the hatchery. They're going to be able to compound it. It's not going to have to be locked for as long. And it's just a really good deal for them. The only reason they went into the rewards hatchery to begin with is because they planned on banking that. Now the wallet holders has got 347,000. Okay, so figure 350, 400, you got 850,000. That's not really that much that's been sold. It just seems like a lot because it's in such a short time frame. We got some major holders here, guys. I don't know if you see that, but you've got 347,000 being held in wallets currently, and you've got almost 400,000 in the rewards hatchery. That's a big deal. So we got some serious holders, but because we didn't have the demand there, we haven't really grown because we haven't really marketed. We haven't marketed MoveQuest at all, and the community doesn't really share it a whole lot. You're here to enjoy it yourselves. We got some people that do share it, but as a whole, it's not like we did this big marketing campaign and just went, balls to the wall to get massive growth in here. We've stayed roughly at about 4,200 submissions now for, I would say, about the last 6, 7 months. It's been consistent, even though we do have that almost 10,000 users. Now we're ready to just go full bore forward and really start to drive in users into the community. And so we're really poised to do really good with this project. So hopefully this makes sense. I really hope this opened up your eyes. Don't take me the wrong way when I ask you or recommend that you don't sell to submit. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're not doing the community any favors. You're just slowing down the ecosystem. The ecosystem's got almost $2 million to add into liquidity, but it can't do it yet. It keeps banking it and banking it and banking it. But I will tell you, it's getting pretty close, because when I was looking at the algorithm today, I would guess that based on what it's looking to do, you will start seeing injections over the next few days, probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 days. It'll start injecting if the same thing keeps happening. It'll start injecting bits of it, because it's gonna. But that allows the market value to still come down, but it's not going to drive it up. So it will add in bits here and there. I do see that coming in the algorithm, but really it's looking for the selling to stop. And then you're going to start to see this thing flip around. So I can ramble on and on and on and on, just like Gerald said, or Hayden, whichever one it was. I could talk for hours about MoveQuest. So I'm going to hand this back over to you, Herschel, and let you guys take her away.
Wonderful, wonderful. We definitely appreciate that. I would take it. I'm gonna make a few comments here, and in the meantime, if you don't mind taking a look at the chat, the Q&A, so we can get a couple of those questions answered. But in the meantime, you mentioned earlier a few positive things that are taking place here, that the community will start seeing more and more advertising and marketing around. When you mentioned giveaways, I just want to make sure, though, the members of the community that are not yet either submitting on the Bullish Moon project, or are not a part of the Bullish Moon project at this particular point, that project has been gracious enough to include all MoveQuest members. So anybody that has miners and the ability to submit on a daily basis, they are going to be doing a giveaway. And that giveaway is going to be a 2025 Chevy Trailblazer. And anybody that is submitting on or Bullish Moon gets 10, I believe it's 10 entries into a sweepstakes that gets a chance to win that Trailblazer. So I just want to put that out there. You'll start hearing more and more about that as we move into the month of August. But for those of you that may be of interest to, submitting Bullish Moon does get you entries into that on a consistent basis, and there will be other benefits and other ways to earn more entries into the sweepstakes that I'll let them actually talk about, along with some of the other things that they're going to be doing. MoveQuest directly will be having some giveaways. Some of the details are being ironed out right now, but going into our 1-year anniversary, there will be many things, exciting things, I believe, for the entire community to participate in. So just wanted to get that out there for now. For those of you that want to get a jump start on those entries, you're able to do so now. So I will let Miss Lynette see. She can take out some of these questions that are coming in, but I truly believe, all in all, I definitely believe we're in a very exciting position, and we are poised for, seeing positive advancement with the project. For me, I just want to see that the community is still intact, growing, and we're talking about our 2nd-year anniversary this time next year, because this last 12 months went extremely fast.
Okay, I'm going to answer some of these. Hold on just a second, because some of these are good. Then people don't have to read them. I have 8 Titans and haven't received the miners to claim. We have support open every single day. It is MoveQuestSupport.com. If you go there, they will get the wallet to me. If you have 8 Titans, and I haven't, it doesn't matter how many Titans you had, but if you had 8, you should have your slots should have been open to 16, and then you would just go. You have to go to the dashboard on the Web3, apps.movequest.com, and then go under your miners inventory, not where you submit or claim or any of that stuff on the dashboard, the miners inventory, and you'll see Trailblazers, and it'll tell you how many to claim. You hit claim, and bam, they're in your wallet. You would not be receiving, let's see here, what was that? You would not be receiving 0.187 for a Titan if 10,000 more people submit. It would be 25%. Well, that depends because you don't understand, I think, that as the community increases, we are able to increase the amount that you're mining. We can still go as high as 5,000 MoveQuest tokens per day. So it wouldn't be that much because with 25,000 people inside the community, it would go from 3,000 to 3,500, 3,500 to 4,000 up to 5,000. And then the rest is allotted for the hatchery. So actually, you probably wouldn't see a dip until you got closer into the 50,000 person range just because of the amount of MoveQuest that's actually supposed to be distributed, but we haven't reached those milestones in the community size yet for it to kick in. And also at $200 market MoveQuest price, it will be much more than 13,000 in sales a day. Well, no, that's not necessarily the case either. People would be selling less. If you see, okay, so first of all, one, if the market value goes up to $200, okay, you are going to have a huge liquidity pool. Okay, you're not going to reach a market value of $200 without having millions and millions of dollars in the pool. So while $13,000, it really isn't going to be much different. It's going to increase, but you got to understand it's increasing based on the market value of the token, but the liquidity pool is increasing at the same time. So you can't say, well, they're going to be selling so much more at the $200 mark. They're still selling, roughly about the same amount of MoveQuest because the amount of MoveQuest didn't increase that much that's being mined. So the same amount of MoveQuest is being sold. Is the market value or the value that they're selling going to be higher? Yeah, because the MoveQuest price is higher, but the liquidity pool is higher too. So it does balance itself out. You can't look at it like that. Well, when it goes higher, they're just going to sell more. No, actually, they probably will sell less because they can get more money. At that point in time, you didn't see people selling, thousands of MoveQuest when it was up in the, $100 mark. They weren't doing it. You only have to sell a little bit to take out a lot of money. And so it does make a big difference, but it also does balance itself out. Right now, $13,000, that's a lot when you're looking at the market value of the token and the liquidity is low right now. But again, you have to remember there's a lot of bank liquidity that's sitting there. It could bump it back up to $2 million, instantly. It could trigger it tonight. And you wake up in the morning, there's $2 million in that liquidity pool. It just is, it's got an algorithm and it knows when it wants to go in. And when it goes in, it goes in. And it's based on, like I said, the habits of the community. So I really should start holding some Zooms just to teach people about the liquidity so that you understand that, yes, when the market value goes up, what's sold in daily volume is higher, but the liquidity pool is deeper and it can afford those higher sells. That 13,000, like I said earlier, when the market value was at $100, we had $300,000 a day being sold, but it was still roughly the same amount of MoveQuest that was being sold. So they don't sell more MoveQuest. CoinMarketCap listing update. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're good to go on that. Actually, I have a meeting tomorrow with a person that's helping get this pushed through. I really don't know what was taking so long on that. I've had to update a couple of things, but I think we're looking good on that. My goal is to have that done before all the press releases and stuff go out. So I think we're looking good. Couldn't give you an exact date, but I think we're on the way. No, I honestly can't. We have got an amazing marketing group that's putting all that stuff together. I pop in that group and I see what they're doing, but I really couldn't tell you what their strategies are at this moment When they get it all done, they'll tell me how much money they need and we'll pop it out and go. But I have no idea exactly what is transpiring. Maybe we'll have a meeting next week on that, where, the core team can come in and kind of talk about where we're headed in that marketing direction. I trust them. We've got a really good group of people that work with us, to get us where we need to be. All they got to do is tell me what they need and I'll make it happen. Let's see. Well, if you have 8 dock slots open, you should already have 16 unlocked. So go to your dashboard and look. If you were mining with 8 on July 19th, we would have unlocked 16. I know for a fact that at least 99.9% of them went through. There may be 1 or 2 that fell through the cracks if the blockchain didn't pick it up or missed it in that data sheet. If you're missing something, don't DM me directly. We do have a form that's out there. I'm probably going to just start paying attention to it as of tonight because I already know that all the other ones were taken care of. So if you're missing something, use that form. Is there any update? Yes, the merchandise will be coming out on the day we announce our the big promotion and our marketing. So look for that in the next week. And we've got some really awesome merch coming out. Hopefully, Herschel, some of your designs are going to be in that merch store. I love what you've put together. And 9 open slots. 7 more got open instead of 9. 9 wouldn't have gotten opened. If you had 9, 10, it should have taken you to 17. I would look and see. So you had to open. If you had 10, it went to 18. If you had 9, it went to 17. Okay, you only get 8 of those slots. So again, Lori, if there's an issue, you don't think it's right, we'll get that form back out so people know where it's at, and you can fill out that form or go into customer support tomorrow. They've been sending me the wallets. If something's been missed, I go in, I check it, and then I can manually send it out. But there hasn't been too many, maybe 3 or 4 people is all. How many people are on tonight? I have no idea. I think we had hit 300 at one point, which is really unfortunate. We've got, 10,000 people in this community and they all really, hopefully you guys update. I don't know how many people watch the recording. I know everybody can't get here, but these calls should be a little bit, it should be bigger. There should be more people here. When will we see how much MoveQuest we made when we were just making half what we really, you talking about the reserve MoveQuest? As soon as the developers have time to add that to the dashboard. If you go in and you look at August 1st to whatever date it was, January 31st, I think it was, you can go to your wallet. You can see every MoveQuest that you mined, add it up, double it, you know what you had. What about the old hatchery? I don't know if that's a question, if I'm supposed to understand what that question is, but as far as I don't know anything about the old hatchery. If somebody's missing something from the old hatchery, maybe that's what you're talking about. I know there's a few people that still say they need to get their miners that from canceling. Maybe that's what you're talking about. I'll have to go through those emails. Maybe Leslie, Herschel, Hayden, one of you guys remind me or Leslie to do that. Probably Leslie, because I'm just not. I don't have time to go through those emails right now. Okay, so we will be, these things keep jumping. Will we be able to see our reserve? Yep, already answered that. Challenges soon. Yeah, we're looking to come out with those before fall, hopefully. That one's been a little bit more challenging because in order to participate in the challenges, you will have to have a fitness tracker. And we have to white label or whitelist the fitness trackers we're going to use because some people can manually add their fitness data to it, and we won't allow anybody that could manually add their physical activity will be not allowed in participation of any challenges. And so we're currently going through all the different we'll never get all the apps, but the fitness trackers, there are some that allow you still to manipulate that data. And so we'll be blacklisting those, whitelisting the ones that don't allow it, and then we'll make the challenges because with these challenges, there's going to be a lot of money that people are going to be making and, winning on those challenges. It's $80 per slot all the way through. So slot 1's free, slot 2 is $80. When you unlock slot 2, you get a Trailblazer for slot 1 and 2. Every slot is $80. Is it too late to open up to 18 docks to receive the 3 Titans? It is. This is awesome today. Are you working on overhauling B&B tokenomics? Oh, you guys are going to love B&B when I get over there. You think MoveQuest is great? You wait till you see what I've done with finance smart chain. You guys got to know me by now. I don't do anything small. Let's see. I don't know why this thing's jumping. I'm just doing movements locking version 1 hatchery to be released. Okay, send it. You guys send in one more email. Okay, hello at movequest.com. If you're missing something from that first version hatchery, send in an updated email. Give the wallet address, what you're missing, so that we can get that handled too before this promotion gets started. Are we already able to see the BMed token on deck screener? No. So Bullish Moon is not going to list. I don't know the exact date. I know you guys have done amazing. Okay, so there's only 750 tokens a day that are mined from Bullish Moon. And I know that already just from the submissions, it's over $100,000. So the Bullish Moon token is going to list very strong. And there's not going to be nowhere near what's in circulation, even for MoveQuest, okay? Because I was able to look at our tokenomics, what the selling habit is of our community, and I was able to fix that for the Bullish Moon so that the overselling won't happen over there and won't affect the market value of the token. So MoveQuest is a beast. Bullish Moon, they got to learn from what our community's current behavior patterns are with the selling. Okay, so you do want to mine that token. Yes, for everybody who's here, okay, our entire community, if you are actively submitting, when the boosts are ready, we are going to drop boosts into every single wallet that is actively submitting. If you're not actively submitting, you're not going to get them. But if you are actively submitting, you are going to get boosts dropped on you into your wallet. You're going to have them, and they're going to be fun. It's like if you don't feel like working out for a day because everybody's body needs a rest, you'll have a boost that you can use so you can resubmit the previous day's physical activity, and you can get that rest day, and you don't have to lose MoveQuest. Well, Lori, you're looking at one person and 10,000 others. And I'm sorry if you've emailed 5 times. I am the worst email person in the entire world. I've got an amazing team working for me, but I really don't have anybody that goes through my emails. Send it again. Maybe the 6th time will be a charm. I really want to get this stuff taken care of so that it's not lingering. You know, you guys were kind of late canceling and getting in your information. We asked everybody for weeks to get it in, and we never got it. And then you guys started sending it. Well, I've already moved on to something else, and it's really hard for me to go backwards into something that was completed on my end, and now I have to go back and dig around and try to find the spreadsheets and double check, and so it becomes more of a hassle to me. But let's get them in, get them done. I know there's like 15 of you guys that are still waiting, so we can get that done. I believe, Ambrina, it's December 1st. I know they were looking at doing it in October, but they're giving away these the SUV Trailblazer and a bunch of other stuff they've got going on, and they really want to list very strong. And so, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that it was December 1st. I just don't
Yes.
quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure. Is it December 1st? Okay, good.
Kashara just confirmed December the 1st. Yes.
Okay, so Sylvia, Sylvie. The day that I did the first distribution, those people that had 9 did get lucky and they did get 18. But I thought it was complete. Remember I said that snapshot was not a complete snapshot. Now it's done, it's automatic. Okay, all I have to do is push a button and bam, it goes. I cannot have them rewrite that whole script so that 9 get 9. And it's not fair to everybody else. So yeah, there was about 70 wallets or so that did get lucky that day. I thought it was done. It wasn't. We had to redo it. So if you had 9, you get 17, you don't get 18. But there is a group of lucky people that did get up to 18. And I'm sorry, but it's all about automation. And if I have to do everything manually, you'll never get them. Discord link is broken. Oh, really? All right, we got to check that and make sure we have the right link on Discord, because remember, you guys, maybe they've changed it. Maybe Dell's changed it. I don't know. Will the user interface update show the new goal? Okay, so go into your app, go to the app settings, the little, I think it's the little gear thing on the far right-hand side, and go to app settings and go down to where you see your goals, where you set them. At the bottom of that, it'll say reset. Reset it, and you'll see the new settings for the max workout. So go into MoveQuest, go to the settings, top one, I believe it's app settings. Let me go look real quick. I believe that's what it is. I gotta open it. Settings, app settings. Yep, that's what it is. Scroll down to the bottom, reset values, and then when you go back over to the scroll on the front, you'll see the new values that are there. So it did update. Is it just me? I can't see anyone on the screen. Nope, nobody's on the screen. I had shut my video off. December 1st listing. So it doesn't make sense to swap MoveQuest for AVAX in order to submit. Nope, it really doesn't. Not at this market value. The market value is too, in my opinion, the market value is too low to submit. I wouldn't do it. I would not sell, at this point, I would not sell my MoveQuest. It's one thing, okay, when MoveQuest is sitting at $20, even $15, right? And you have to sell it. But I wouldn't even sell it then. I don't sell it. So you got to kind of look at the market value. I would rather see you hold on to what you have, let the ecosystem come in and kick in and get that market back up where it needs to be. And if people keep selling it like this at this low price, it's going to let it go to $2.16. Like I said, that's what the algorithm is calling for right now based on the current community's behavior. Stop selling it, hold off, let this ecosystem kick in, let it recalibrate, let it do its reversal market corrections and inject that liquidity. Otherwise, it's going to keep letting the sellers pound it down, and then it's going to come in, it's going to drive that puppy up, and all of you guys that are selling it are going to miss the boat. Now, if someone comes up and you got to sell your MoveQuest, you got to sell it. I'm not telling you what to do with your MoveQuest. I'm just giving you advice on how the ecosystem works. You got to understand how the ecosystem works. And I'm not, somebody can say, oh, she's giving you, no, I'm not giving you financial advice at all. But I am going to explain how the algorithm works. And I am going to explain how the ecosystem works. Because if you don't know, then you don't understand what you're doing. And it's not fair to you. Add Russian to the site. Yes, you know what? Another thing on our to-do list, guys, we got to figure out why we don't have the translations on the website like we did on GetFit. We got to get that fixed. We need our translations back up. I think it's just a library, but Waleed needs to add it. Oh, can you make it optional to link an email to a wallet and make like a push notification? Okay, so listen, guys, go in and turn your notifications on, and we can send push notifications to your wallets, but you've got to allow notifications. In fact, we just got everything done and ready to go, so we can do it through One Signal Firebase through Apple and Android. So you'll get them right inside the app. We got a lot of notification type fun stuff that'll be coming. Let's see. Can you make it optional? Okay, got that. It's Binance Smart Chain is starting August still. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to start in August. All I know is this. We're getting ready to run the big promotion. Once everything settles down and we get all this off the ground, then we're rolling into the Binance Smart Chain. And when we do, you guys will absolutely love it. It's very strong. I've had a lot of time to work on it this week. So you guys, if you don't see your bullish moon and you've claimed them, you need to add the bullish moon contract address to your wallet. They won't show up. You can go to snowtrace.io or you can go to snowscan.xyz and you can take your wallet address, you can paste it in the search, and it'll show you that the Bullish Moon tokens are in your wallet. But if you don't add the contract address into your wallet, they will not show. I don't know about, I don't know about the sound notifications so much. Those kind of drove me nuts. You guys, maybe we should take a vote on that one. All right. That is all the questions.
All righty. Well, once again, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to go through all of those. I have one question or request. I would say I know Waleed is listening in this evening as well. I know may not necessarily be a rush, but I've had a good number of people contact me inside the gonna go get fit mine. Inside the MoveQuest app, when you go to the dock, we used to be able to see, we could see our total mining power, but it doesn't show us any longer our max shares, our aggregated max shares. And just wanted to, many people in the community are asking whether or not that's something that can be added back to the app. So
if you go to, you mean on the history page?
If you go to the dock inside the MoveQuest app and you hit the plug,
okay,
you can see your total mining power, but you cannot see your total max shares like we used to.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's probably just something that Waleed has to add. And, we have to update the app through Apple, so it might be a couple of days, but
that would take a while. Everybody have to go through it and add each one of them up to know what that was. So if we could have that.
Yeah, good point.
Be great.
Yeah, we'll add that. You know what? It was just an oversight. Sometimes you look at something, so long and you miss something. But Waleed already answered that he would add the max shares.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, see, stuff like that, it's good to know because then we can go in and make sure it gets updated. So if anything else that you guys want to see or that we've missed, let us know. Perfect. It'll be updated probably 2 to 3 days, he said.
Okay, perfect. That will be great. Well, once again, Ms. Lynette, I definitely appreciate you sharing, take some time with us this evening. And we will continue doing what we've been doing and looking forward to more and more positive things taking place within the community as time progresses. So everyone, we want to thank and appreciate each one of you for coming out this evening to get the information. I will have the
Hold on real quick. Let me just answer one more thing quick. Those of you who have 18 dock slots open and are mining with Titans, you will have vanguards at the very least on the Binance Smart Chain. We haven't decided. I didn't promise Titans. I got it recorded. I said we would try to do Titans if it made sense, if we can do it with the ecosystem, because it's like I said, it's all math. We can't hurt the community when it comes to like the submissions and whatnot. If we can do the Titans, we absolutely will. But at the very least, if you're mining with 18 slots and you're mining with Titans, you'll at least get the vanguards on the Binance Smart Chain, just so you all know. That was the last question. I had to answer that one. Sorry.
Not a problem.
That was an important one.
Not a problem. Well, again, we thank you. We want to thank Mr. Gerald Smith for sharing with us this evening. Hayden, as always. Until next week, everyone, we will see you at the top. Keep moving, keep mining, keep submitting. We'll keep grinding. Y'all have a great evening.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Grind and shine. Grind and shine. Break the chains, rewrite the line, break the line. Build your body, build your mind, build your mind. Every step a treasure find. Turn it up, feel the beat, lace the shoes, hit the street. My MQD. Dig deep, set yourself free. MoveQuest is what you do. The change begins with you. Off the couch up, you go. Chase the fire, let it show. Set your sights on something new. The grind is tough, but so are you. Break the limits, break the mold, turn the spark to burning gold. Mine till your dreams come true. The power's always been in you. My MQD. shine. Break the chains, we write the line. Grind and shine, grind and shine. Break the chains, we write the line. Build your body, build your mind. Every step a treasure find.